You're in your backyard in rural Colombia. Your 6-year-old daughter is playing near the jungle edge. You turn away for just a moment. Then you hear your own voice calling from the trees. Mi amor, ven acá comer, sweetie. Mommy has something special for you. But you're standing right here. You didn't say anything. You watch in horror as your daughter smiles and starts walking toward the jungle, toward your voice. You scream, stop, come back. But she doesn't listen. She thinks you're calling her into the jungle. She thinks that voice is you. You run after her, but she's faster, excited. Thinking mommy is playing a game, you reach the jungle edge. She's gone, vanished into the dense foliage. You search for hours, days. When you finally find her a week later, she's alive but changed. She doesn't want to come home. She keeps crying, I want to go back to mommy. The other mommy, the one who gave me this special shrimp. This is La Tunda, the shape-shifting demon of Colombia's Pacific Coast who steals children by becoming the person they trust most. Tonight you'll learn why Afro-Colombian mothers warn their children never to follow voices into the jungle. Even if it sounds like mommy. La Tunda is one of the most disturbing legends from Colombia's Pacific Coast, rooted deeply in Afro-Colombian culture. The Pacific Coast region departments like Choco Valle del Cauca and Narico is home to descendants of escaped African slaves who created free communities in the impenetrable jungle. Their folklore is distinct from highland mestizo traditions, blending African spiritual beliefs with indigenous elements and Catholic overlay. La Tunda's name comes from tondir, meaning to hit or beat, because parents would historically threaten disobedient children if you misbehave. La Tunda will take you and tund you, but her methods are far more insidious than beating. She doesn't use violence, she uses love, the perversion of maternal love. The most common origin story says, La Tunda was once a woman, though accounts differ on whether she was African, indigenous, or mixed. What's consistent is that she lost her child. Some versions say the child drowned in the river. Others say the jungle took them. Still others say she abandoned or killed her own child in a moment of rage or despair. Consumed by grief and guilt, she went mad and wandered into the deepest parts of the jungle. There, she made a pact with dark spirits or demons. The details vary by storyteller. She would get children to replace the one she lost. But the spirits demanded payment, her humanity. They transformed her into something between woman and monster. Her most distinctive feature is her wooden leg. In the transformation, one of her legs was replaced with a pata de molinilloa, wooden peg leg like those used to stir chocolate or grind corn. But this isn't just a prosthetic. The wooden leg is alive with dark magic. It has a hole, a cavity, and from this hole, she produces Cameroon's Damonte magical jungle shrimp that don't exist in nature. These shrimp are her primary weapon. They're delicious beyond anything a child has ever tasted. They're also supernaturally addictive. Once a child eats La Tunda's shrimp, nothing else satisfies them. Not their mother's cooking, not their favorite foods. Only more shrimp from La Tunda's wooden leg. The child becomes psychologically dependent, craving not just the food but the entity providing it. La Tunda hunts by surveillance. She watches families from the jungle edge, studying them. She learns voices, mannerisms, speech patterns. She discovers which children are disobedient, which wander away from parents, which are easiest to isolate. She's patient, sometimes watching a family for weeks before striking. When she's ready, she shapeshifts. This isn't a physical transformation. Eyewitnesses who've seen her say she remains monstrous if you look directly at her, but she projects an illusion. To the target child, she looks and sounds exactly like their mother, or sometimes their grandmother, aunt, or other trusted female figure. The child sees what La Tunda wants them to see. She calls the child in their loved one's voice. Come ere, mi amor. I need your help with something in the jungle, or come see what I found for you. The child, hearing their mother's voice, trusts completely and follows. Once in the jungle, La Tunda takes the child deep into the wilderness, where parents cannot easily follow. There she reveals the shrimp. Are you hungry? Mi amor, here. Eat this. It's special just for you. The child, hungry from walking, eats and the addiction begins. La Tunda keeps the children in jungle caves or hidden clearings. She treats them well, in her twisted way. She feeds them shrimp constantly. She speaks to them in their mother's voice. She creates a distorted maternal relationship. The children aren't physically harmed, they're psychologically colonized. Latunda replaces the real mother in their minds. When rescue parties finally find the children, sometimes weeks later, the children are alive but changed. They don't want to go home. They cry for the other mother. They refuse normal food, demanding the shrimp. They have to be carried away screaming and struggling. The psychological damage is severe. Rescued children often suffer separation anxiety, not from their real mother, but from Latunda. They have nightmares. They wander toward the jungle in their sleep. Some never fully readjust. The younger the child when taken, the deeper the psychological scarring. Parents must be vigilant for months after a child's rescue. Latunda sometimes returns, calling the child again. The child, still addicted to the shrimp, might sneak away in the night to find her. Some children are taken multiple times, each capture making the addiction worse. In Afro-Colombian communities, Latunda serves as a cautionary tale with practical survival purpose. The Pacific Coast jungle is genuinely dangerous. Jaguars, snakes, getting lost. Parents use Latunda to keep children close. Don't wander into the jungle. Don't follow voices. Don't trust someone just because they sound like me. Latunda is waiting. But Latunda represents something deeper too. She's about the fear of replacement. What if someone could be a better mother than you? What if your child preferred someone else? She's about maternal inadequacy fears and the vulnerability of the parent-child bond. One clever lie, one magical food, and your child might choose someone else over you. She's also about colonialism and cultural displacement. Afro-Colombian communities have historically faced outsiders trying to take their children through slavery, through missionary civilizing programs, through modern social services. Latunda embodies the fear of cultural kidnappers, disguised as helpers. Latunda is patient, eternal. She has endless children to choose from. If one escapes, another will wander too close to the jungle edge eventually. And when they do, they'll hear their mother's voice calling them into the darkness. And they'll trust and they'll follow. Because how could mother lie? Latunda's abilities make her one of the most dangerous entities in Latin American folklore because she doesn't just harm, she corrupts. She turns children against their own families, using the strongest bond humans have, the mother-child connection. Her primary power is perfect vocal mimicry. She can replicate any voice she's heard with absolute accuracy. Tone, inflection, speech patterns, even emotional quality. When a child hears Latunda calling in their mother's voice, it's indistinguishable from the real thing. Some accounts say she can mimic multiple voices simultaneously, creating the illusion of a whole family calling the child. Her second power is perceptual shapeshifting. She doesn't physically change form. Adults who encounter her see her true monstrous appearance, but she projects powerful illusions that affect children specifically. To her target, she looks exactly like someone they love and trust. This selective illusion is psychologically devastating because rescued children insist they saw their real mother in the jungle, making them distrust their memories. Third is the magical shrimp. These aren't just addictive, they're reality-altering. Children who eat them describe the taste as better than anything imaginable. Each shrimp better than the last. The shrimp create both physical addiction. Withdrawal symptoms include nausea, weakness, and psychological addiction, obsessive craving. No known cure exists. Children must go through painful withdrawal that can last months. Fourth, Latunda has superhuman jungle navigation abilities. She knows every trail, every hiding spot, every cave in the Pacific Coast jungle. When searching for taken children, even experienced trackers with dogs often fail to find her hideouts. She can move silently through dense vegetation and seems to sense pursuit, always staying one step ahead of rescue parties. Fifth, and most insidious, is her psychological manipulation. She doesn't just feed children and hide them. She actively works to replace their real mother in their affections. She learns their real mother's pet names for them, their lullabies, their comfort routines. She becomes a better mother than reality because she has supernatural patience and no limitations. She never gets tired, never gets angry, never disciplines. She's the fantasy mother, making the real one seem inadequate by comparison. But there are defenses, though they require constant vigilance. First, and most important, teach children from age 3 or 4 that if they hear their mother calling from the jungle, they should run back home to check if she's really there before following the voice. This simple verification protocol has saved countless children. Second, establish a family password or code phrase. Teach children that real family members will know the secret phrase, but Latunda won't. If someone calling from the jungle can't provide the code, run. Third, never let young children play near jungle edges unsupervised. Always keep them within sight. Latunda needs isolation to work her deception. Fourth, mark children with protective items. Many Afro-Colombian families use Azabash jetstone bracelets, blessed with prayers. Others use red string tied around the wrist. While these don't prevent Latunda's appearance, they're believed to weaken her illusion power, making children more likely to sense something's wrong. Fifth, create loud alert systems. Give children whistles or bells to wear. Train them to make noise constantly if they feel frightened. Latunda prefers silent, isolated victims. Noise attracts help and breaks her concentration. Sixth, search immediately if a child goes missing. The first few hours are critical. Before Latunda can feed them the shrimp, children might still be rescued without psychological damage. After eating the shrimp, recovery becomes exponentially harder. Seventh, if a child is recovered after eating Latunda's shrimp, prepare for long-term psychological intervention. Keep them away from jungle edges. Secure windows and doors at night. Consider moving to urban areas where jungle is distant. Some families have successfully relocated to coastal cities, breaking Latunda's hold. Modern encounters continue regularly throughout Colombia's Pacific Coast. In 2014, a 7-year-old in Buenaventura went missing for 4 days. When found, she insisted her other mother had been caring for her. She refused to eat for a week, demanding the special food. Her family had to restrain her from wandering back into the jungle at night. In 2017, multiple children in a Choco community reported seeing a woman who looked like various villagers calling them from the jungle. The community organized 24-hour child patrols, with adults always present when children played outside. The sightings stopped, but returned when patrols became less vigilant. In 2020, an Afro-Colombian family in Cali reported their daughter, who'd been taken by Latunda as a child 15 years earlier, still suffered from the trauma. As an adult, she refuses to have children herself, fearing she won't be able to protect them. She panics near forests and has recurring nightmares about the shrimp. Social media among Afro-Colombian communities shares constant warnings. Mothers post about suspicious voices near jungle edges. Videos circulate showing how to teach children the verification protocol. The folklore is alive, active, and taken with absolute seriousness. Latunda represents the ultimate parental nightmare. Someone stealing your child not through force, but by being a better you. She weaponizes maternal love, turning it against both mother and child. The mother loses her child. The child loses their ability to trust. And Latunda continues her collection, cave filling with children who call her mommy. In Colombia's Pacific Coast, when mothers call their children inside before dark, it's not just about dinner, it's about survival. Because out there in the jungle, something that sounds exactly like them is calling too. And children can't always tell the difference. By the time they realize the voice led them to a monster with a wooden leg producing magical shrimp, it's already too late. Their minds belong to Latunda now, and she never ever lets her children go.